Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Road Stadium here on the beautiful campus of Elon University here in Elon, North Carolina. So, today's matchup is on a rainy, cold Saturday afternoon as we are dealing with the remnants of Hurricane Ian. And so yesterday it was classified as a tropical storm, and yesterday we got the bulk of the effects. Multiple people here in North Carolina lost power, and with strong winds, heavy rains, and numerous things were wrecked. But today's in much better conditions, although we are still getting light rains. And so, like I said, today's matchup is between the University of Richmond and Elon University here at Elon University. And so, Richmond is currently ranked. Yes, number 17. Richmond is here to play against Elon, who's currently unranked. But without further ado, that's kind of a brief introduction, and let's get into the specifics of everything. And so currently Elon is 3-1, coming off of a big win last week. We'll get to that in a second, but for now, Elon will be hosting their second home game this season while dealing, like I said, while dealing with Tropical Storm Ian. Last week, Elon had its 12th win over a ranked opponent in the last 6 years, and it was a 6th straight fall season in which the Phoenix earned at least one win over a ranked opponent. Elon was able to gain another win on the road against number 14 ranked William and Mary with a score of 35-31. All of 10 Elon's touchdowns so far this season have somehow, some way, involved the fearless leader, the quarterback, Matthew McKay, by either rushing or passing the ball. Now we can flip over to Richmond real quick. So the University of Richmond Spiders are currently 3-1 as well. So both teams are 3-1 heading into this big matchup. Richmond is currently ranked 17th, and their need to win has been noticed by many. Like I said, their record is currently 3-1, are playing to make a significant statement against Elon to hopefully gain momentum in their standings. Again, like Elon as well, pretty much. And so the Spiders are coming off of a massive win last week. I mean, when I say massive, I mean massive. So when we talk about massive, they won against Stony Brook with a score of 51-7. The 5 touchdowns that they had in the game last week are tied for second most in a single game in program history, and the most since 2017. Back in 2017, it's important to note that they had 6 touchdowns in a game rather than 5. And so it took them a few years to get that momentum back, but they mean business. They meant business last week, as shown with a score of 51-7, and they mean business today coming here to Elon. So what to expect for the offensive side of the ball? For Elon, Richmond really needs to watch out for their pass and run game. Okay, to further explain what that means, Elon, the football team outscored number 14 William and Mary 25-3 in the second half, which included the final 19 unanswered points. They overcame a 28-10 halftime deficit in order to gain the 35-31 win Saturday at Zabel Stadium. Jalen Hampton finished with 28 carries for 145 yards, hence why I said Richmond needed to watch out for the run game. Hampton had 28 carries for 145 yards, and including 3 touchdowns. He had 34 carries a week ago. It was a second consecutive 100-yard rushing game. Tony Tristiana went rushing for at least 200 yards, doing so for the second straight game. Overall, Elon had a season-high 240 yards rushing game against William and Mary. So their run game isn't strong. It's there, it's present. The game prior here at home, the run game was relevant, but not as strong as it was last week. So Richmond, let's talk about Richmond for the offensive side of things. What does Elon need to look out for when Richmond's on offense? Their pass game, and a little bit of a rushing game too, but it's kind of a mix of both. So Udinsky, the quarterback who entered the game leading the nation in completion percentage, finished the game on another very high note. He finished the game 35 of 42 for 357 yards. 9 different receivers for the Spiders caught passes, with 5 different people grabbing 4 catches apiece. The sophomore wide receiver Josiah Williams from Petersburg, Virginia, posted his first career 100-yard game, finishing with 10 receptions for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 scores. So, 9 different receivers. That's a lot. That's a handful that Elon needs to be able to maintain. And so, to shift gears to the offensive side, Elon, for the defense, allowed 284 yards of offense in the first half. So they allowed William and Mary to essentially dominate the field in every way, shape, and form. But after that, in the second half, Elon allowed just 117 yards between the pass and rush game. And so I think that halftime meeting kind of worked out the way it needed to, huh? So the Phoenix have allowed just 3 points in the second half over the past 3 games. So overall, it seems like the halftime conversation has worked really well, because 3 points over the last 3 games in the second half, that kind of scares me a little bit if I were the other team. And today it's Richmond. Sabo Sanders got his first career interception on a William and Mary Hail Mary attempt at the end of the first half. So a big shout out to Bo Sanders, and that's somebody Richmond should put on the spotlight, and we're definitely kind of putting him on the spotlight, because first interception against a ranked team on a Hail Mary. That's big news right there. And you know, if we're putting it on our spotlight, I think Richmond should put it on theirs too. So Jeff York boomed a career-long 65-yard punt early in the third quarter that was down at the 1-yard line. He later had a 52-yard punt that was also down at the 1-yard line. I mean, you have one punt that goes 65 yards down at the 1-yard line is a big statement already. But you have 2. I mean, having 2 is a big enough statement. And so we go to the other side of the ball. Richmond, like I said, currently 3-1. Outgained Stony Brook yardage-wise by a significant yardage, everybody. Significant yardage. 434 to 154. 434 to 154 in the win, limiting the Seawolves to their lowest yardage of the year offensively. That's lights out. It's almost like they didn't do anything the entirety of the game in terms of the Seawolves at their own home stadium. And granted, it was Stony Brook's home weekend as well. Home weekend, family weekend. So everybody was there. And so, to further on top of that, the Spider defense forced Stony Brook into 3 turnovers, including a career-best 2 interceptions from Tyreek Funderburk. Funderburk returned his first pick for 30 yards and also for a touchdown. His first score of his career and the Spiders' first defensive touchdown of the year. So, win-win on all sides of the ball for University of Richmond, and honestly for Elon as well. And so, the last few weeks, both teams have done a lot of things right. And I know the last home game, the second half for Elon, there were a few things that they needed to focus on, and they were able to kind of dial their plays in and fix those few things. And so, I know we mentioned this already, but it should be interesting given the conditions here at the university due to Hurricane Ian. But needless to say, it's going to be a good game, and we'll check in with you later on.